Thank you for checking out my page. Again, I know it's been a significant amount of time, probably 7-8 months since the last time I did any kind of review. Today, I wanted to do a review on something that I don't normally do reviews on, and that is something that is Japanese in nature. While I have owned katana from various manufacturers over the years, that's pretty much all I ever owned was katanas. I've owned Hanwei, back in the good old days, Kensai Sword Saint. He had two different versions of his company. His name was Lauren Graves. Really nice swords that I think one of them was a Kiyomaru and the other was a Dragonfly katana. Both excellent. Later, I ended up picking up a Feilong Higo and an Iwa. One of them I got secondhand. The other one I got directly from Cottontail Customs back when he was selling those. Well, I can totally appreciate katana, and I absolutely can appreciate kenjutsu. Not really my thing, but the aesthetic has to be acknowledged with Japanese weapons. They have a subtlety of beauty that I really don't think there's any other comparable types of swords out there, in my opinion, that meet that aesthetic. That there's simplicity but complexity. A lot of paradox there. I could go on for a long time talking about that. In any event, my purpose here today has to do with a Japanese edged weapon, which is something that I've never actually, to my knowledge, ever owned one of these. It's a Tanto. Interestingly enough, this is a Tanto that I would have never thought I would have ever come across, but I did. I located it here where I live, which was even more shocking because where I live is relatively, comparatively remote to most places you would think you would find Japanese related swords and other weaponry. So, get down to the meat and potatoes. The piece was originally produced and made by Bugei. I believe that's how you pronounce it. They, of course, had a long-running series of katanas, and they're still in business. I think they've kind of changed their format a bit, I guess would be the way to put it. But this was an offering that they had somewhere between, I would say, 2009 to 2015. I'd had to do some real digging to find it. Thank goodness there's a thing called the Wayback Machine. You can occasionally find things you need to that are no longer published in that sense. And case in point, the piece is the Wave Tanto that they offered. Originally, price point was, I think, somewhere between $500 to $750, depending on when. I know they had price changes over time. It's obviously the fairly common wave theme. What I thought was absolutely unique and wonderful about this particular piece is the fact that it has no suka wrap. It just has the same. So there is a uniqueness about that. The Minuki are shrimp Minuki. Fuchikashira is wave theme, which is pretty common. Got the Emperor node there for the Same. Having no experience with suka that aren't wrapped with ito, you have to presume, I guess, a full wrap is going to have a seam. Not horrific, but it's there. You can clearly see it. I don't know if that's a bad thing. The furniture on the saya is wave theme as well. It's been a while since I've looked at anything Japanese, but I forget what this is called. No sageo with this when I found it, and then the hook, I guess, for your see, this is how bad it is. I've forgotten all the terms I used to know about these Japanese edged weapons. But anybody who wants to comment on what these things are called, I'm sure I could pull up a schematic. Typical black saya. There's not anything there. There's no tip. It's just a wood tip. This is, I thought, was pretty unique. I want to say this is the Kojiri, if I remember, correct me if I'm wrong, is metal. You don't see that very often. It does lock in, which is nice. Even, you know, there's plenty of production katana out there that you just don't get that feature. Out of the blade. The blade is 10 3/4 inches. Got a nice, very pronounced hamon on it. It's kind of got that almost looks like there's a hata, but grain, but I'm not seeing that when I've looked at it. I don't know if this was a folded piece originally or not. It's got the very long from the yokote here to the tip. I don't know what you call that. I don't remember. Habaki's brass, which was very common in that era. This particular piece, I think even James Williams sported. I don't know if his was one that he had made, and then they just said, hey, let's go ahead and market it. This is a big Tanto. It's a sizable piece. I was holding it up to my forearm earlier, and I mean, that is as long as from my pinky to my elbow. That's a lot of steel for a Tanto. Most Tantos that I've seen, they're about that long. I do not know what the Fuchi Kashira is made out of. I would presume it's maybe copper with silver over it. I do not know that for a fact. I don't know if it even said on the website originally. Suka's 5 inches. I don't know. I guess that's lobster, maybe. I don't know. I think it's shrimp. I don't know if it matters all that much, but I haven't done any cutting. When I got this, like I said, it was something that was an utter surprise to me that this was sitting in a cabinet in a local store here that sells all sorts of things. And I was like, I have never ever thought in a million years I would see it. And there's a little bit of wear. There's some scuffing on this side of the blade. On the other side, it's pretty pristine. I'm presuming the person who owned it originally had maybe used it to cut with or stab something with. That is one of the difficult things about that I found with katana and Japanese is the fact that it's so highly polished that any kind of use is going to show. It's going to show. It's going to be there. Not that I did any use, but structurally, this thing very solid. I have not taken it apart. In fact, I'll be honest with you, I don't even know where to begin to take this thing apart. There's no Mikugi pig that I can see, but it's here somewhere, probably underneath the Manuki, is my guess. With this is, I'm not sure why this is. I'm presuming this was standard practice to fill the holes where typically the Sukaito would go through where they do the knot. So it makes that solid. Really a unique, very nice Tanto. I think there is a version out there that has just the Samera Suka, but it's shorter, and it is not an Okasaki, or I forget what style they call this, with the very long yokote. But in any event, very nice, and unfortunately I have no katanas in my collection for it to go with. So at some point, this is going to find itself a new home where someone can appreciate it and have it with the rest of their Nihanto or katana and wakizashi. That is my hope. It does come with a bag. Just the typical cotton storage bag, which I keep it in. And it also came with a cleaning kit, choji oil and rice paper, and the little powder puff thing. I don't even know what you call it. But there it is, the Bugei Wave Tanto. I think it was supposed to go with their Wave katanas that they sold back in that time when James Williams was there with them in their original incarnation. In any event, thank you for tuning in once again to Stark Realities on a Blade review. I hope this was somewhat informative on something that you just don't see very often. Until next time, have a great day.